Be Me 33 FCEO of Solaray, boutique digital marketing shop in Seattle. We don't have employees, we have co-creators, we don't have managers, we have support captains. Started this place 6 years ago with a very specific mission. Wanted to rip out the whole old corporate power ladder. No hard hierarchies, no blood sport, office politics, no grind set worship. Spent most of a decade building what I call a safe little sanctuary. We've got a lactation room. No one's nursing right now, but that's not the point. It's about the principle also, a meditation pod that looks like a tiny camping dome, and a kombucha tap that costs more than my first used Honda workforce, is like 75%. Women, non-binary, or gender-fluid rest, is men specifically sales my necessary nuisance. 14 dudes, mostly late 20s into their 30s. I keep them in the far back corner of the office like it's a timeout zone, away from the creative lounge, with plants and soft lighting. They're the only group with strict quotas because my landlord doesn't take good energy as payment. I treat them like loud teenagers who need constant coaching. Rolled out a hardcore mindfulness program. Just for them, mandatory 8:45 a.m. check-in circle. They have to say their emotional bandwidth out loud. Mandatory 1:30 p.m. decompression break so they don't spiral into aggression. Slack gets policed like a kindergarten classroom. Words like crush, hunt, target, dominate are a straight-up banned, even kill it. Gets a warning, my HR lead is Nora, 28F. Master's in sociology, her job is basically adult daycare for these guys. She sits in on calls to make sure nobody's using sleazy pressure tactics. She scans emails for weird subtext and bias. It's exhausting, but I tell myself, it's my duty. I'm protecting them from their own wiring. Fast forward to last month, quarterly review, big scary board call. I'm in our glass-walled conference room. We call it the Clarity Cube because transparency is branding. Zoom pops up. Lead investor is Grant, early 60s. Old money vibe fleece vest guy definitely owns property. He's never physically seen. He stares at the spreadsheet, then at me. Marin, he says, voice like sandpaper. This model survives maybe 4 more months. I do. The calm CEO smile. The market's shifting, Grant. Macro squeeze. Everyone's tightening. He doesn't blink. No, it's revenue. Your burn rate is wild. He taps the screen like it personally offended him. You're dumping almost 38% of operating spend into internal culture initiatives and sales is flat. I tell him our culture is part of what clients buy. He snaps back immediately. Your product is marketing services, not vibes. Then he hits me with the dagger. You're losing accounts to Titan Harbor Media. You know why? Because they move fast. I literally scoff. Titan Harbor is basically a frat house with a website. They work 60-hour weeks and probably brag about it. They probably microwave steak for lunch. I say we prioritize the human element. I say burnout is real. Grant says insolvency is realer. Then the threat, fix sales, or we bring in a turnaround operator. And I know exactly what that means. First thing those people cut is the fun stuff. Kombucha tap gets axed. Day 1, call ends, screen goes black. I'm just sitting there with my jaw tight and my heart thumping like, the nerve. He's blaming the culture. He's blaming the soft stuff. No, the problem is obvious. It's the men. I look out through the glass at the sales corner. They're clustered together like middle schoolers. Rylan, sales lead, 40 million, is leaning in, whispering to some kid. Ty, 27 million, laughs too loud. I feel my eye twitch, probably some gross joke, probably whining about the privilege mapping workshop we did yesterday. The issue isn't that I'm monitoring them too much, it's that they're naturally inefficient because they hate emotional labor. They waste energy on ego. They waste energy posturing. If they'd just surrender to my framework, my self-published book, The Radiance Protocol, they'd actually thrive. I go back to my office and pace in circles, need to prove a point. Not just to grant to everyone, I need data. Hard proof. Proof that the chest-thumping macho way of doing business is outdated and that my guided, nurturing, structured approach is the future. And then it hits me. An idea forms. It's risky. It's kind of insane. It's basically a social experiment. I will give the sales guys exactly what they claim they want. They always whine in anonymous surveys. Too many meetings. HR is over our shoulder. Just let us sell. Fine, you want a vacuum? I'll make one. I'll remove all the guardrails. I'll pull Nora off them completely, cancel the empathy workshops, no check-in circles, no tone monitoring, total autonomy for 30 days. My hypothesis is simple. Week 1, they party like they got released from prison. Week 2, they start turning on each other without mediation. Week 3, they offend a major client and tank a deal. Week 4, revenue nosedives and the whole corner becomes a hostile mess. Then they come crawling back, begging for structure, and I get to clean house fire. The worst offenders swap in the all-female sales crew. I've been quietly scouting, then look Grant in the face and say, "See, I tried it your way. It failed. Now, let me run my company." "It's beautiful," I call Nora into my office. She walks in with her clipboard like she's entering a crime scene. "Nora," I say, "clear the sales team's calendar." She blinks. "For this afternoon?" "For the month." Her eyes go huge. "Marin, we can't." Who's going to track their language? Who's going to protect psychological safety? I lean back in my overpriced chair and smile. No one. We're going to let them flame out, Nora. We're going to film the implosion of an unsupervised male ego. She gives me this little smile, mean smile. I love it. She goes, "This is like a wildlife documentary. Day 1. The males are released into the wild. Monday morning, all hands meeting everyone piled into the front lounge we call the Commons. Beanbags, soft rugs, that weird scented diffuser that costs too much. I'm on the little stage riser with a handheld mic I never use, right? I look at the sales corner. They look like they're in detention. Ryland's checking his watch like he's timing my breathing. Ty's doing that half yawn he thinks he's hiding. I do my CEO voice. Team, we're piloting something new. Sales guys don't even pretend to care. Effective immediately, the sales division is entering a trial called Project Free Range. Couple heads tilt. For the next 31 days, sales is exempt from all non-revenue meetings. No DEI sessions. No culture stand-ups. No HR shadowing on calls. No Slack language enforcement. You manage your own time. Your only KPI is revenue. Silence like heavy silence. I'm waiting for cheering, waiting for fist bumps, waiting for that annoying let's go energy. Instead, Ryland squints at me like I'm trying to trick him. "Wait," he says. "So we don't have to do the 10 a.m. feelings forecast?" "Correct," I say. Ty raises a hand like a kid in class. "And we're not doing the 4 p.m. Gratitude journaling?" "Nope," Ryland goes. "So we just work?" "Yes, Ryland. You just work." He looks over at the other guys, and I swear this whole conversation happens. Without words, shoulders drop, like someone cut a rope off their necks. The tension just drains out of the group. Ryland nods once. "Cool, that's it. No, thank you, Marion. No, best boss ever. Just cool." Like I handed him a menu. I end the meeting, people scatter back to their little zones. Nora leans in and whispers, "Look at them. They're already separating. Did you see? They didn't even mingle with creative." "Give it time," I whisper back. "Entropy needs a runway." Day 4, office feels... Tilted creative side is business as usual. We're in a 2-hour circle about the color palette for a cruelty-free dog treat. Brand 45-minute debate on whether the green looks too assertive. Nora runs a tier processing session for a junior designer who felt unseen in a Slack thread. We pass around a little stone and take turns validating normal. Meanwhile, the sales zone is quiet. It's eerie. Usually I hear Nora correcting them every 20 minutes. "Ryland, don't say execute, say implement." "Ty, you're interrupting. Please avoid war metaphors." Now, nothing, just mechanical keyboard clacking and the low murmur of headset voices. I walk by their area and immediately notice something else. The smell is wrong. Normally it's lavender and whatever calming oil. We pump into that corner like a zoo enclosure. Now it smells like coffee. Strong, bitter black coffee. They brought in their own machine, some giant industrial monster that looks like it belongs in a garage. I stop at Ryland's desk, try the supportive tone. "Hey, how's it going?" Expecting. I feel unmoored without structure. He doesn't even look up. He's got 3 monitors now. 3 no clue where the 3rd came from. "Good," he says. "We cleared the backlog." I blink. "The backlog?" Leads from last month, he says like it's obvious. Tuesdays we usually lose half the day to roleplay sensitivity stuff. So we just ran it straight through yesterday. Oh, I say, trying not to sound annoyed. Well, don't burn out. Remember, self-care is also a KPI. Sure, he says, flat as drywall. Then he finally turns a little. Hey, can you sign this? He slides a paper across like we're in 1997. It's a renewal contract for a client I was sure we lost. I frown. I thought they hated us. Rylan shrugs. They hated the bureaucracy. I called their CMO and told him we cut the red tape. He signed on the spot. I sign it anyway, but my pen feels heavier, still telling myself it's a fluke, first week adrenaline, like a toddler sprinting. When you open the gate, they'll faceplant. Eventually, day 9, I'm in the kitchen, making matcha whisking, like I'm in a spa commercial. Nora rushes in, looking rattled hair, slightly frizzed clipboard, clenched like a shield. Marin, she says, it's happening. My heart jumps finally. The collapse? I ask, way too excited. Are they fighting? She shakes her head fast. No. They're excluding us. I pause mid-whisk. How? She looks genuinely wounded. I walked over to ask Ty if he wanted to join the midday mindfulness stretch. He said no thanks and kept typing. He didn't even make an excuse. I stare at her. That's not exclusion, Nora. That's rude. Her eyes get glossy. It's violence, she says, like she's describing a stabbing. Their energy is so different. It's like a wall. I feel like I can't even step into that side of the room. I look over and, yeah, something's changed. They rearranged their desks. We set them up in little angled pods so nobody stares too long. Now they shoved everything into a straight line like a trading floor. They're standing up. They're calling stuff out. Sent. Got it. Nice. Loud, sharp, aggressive. Exactly what I can't stand. I march over ready to shut it down. Guys, I say, volume. Rylan turns around and he looks awake. Usually he looks gray like he's perpetually recovering from being emotionally monitored. Today his eyes are bright and he's wearing an actual crisp button-down, not our company hoodie. Sorry, Marin, he says, not even defensive. We're just in a groove. We're closing the Marlowe Systems deal. I laugh because it's Reflex Marlowe Systems. That's a whale. We're not big enough for them. Rylan just smiles a little. Not anymore. Ty pipes up from his station. We stripped the pitch deck. I freeze. You what? We cut it down, he says, proud. Took out the 15 slides about our culture and values. Just showed ROI and timelines. They loved it. I feel my brain stutter. You removed the about us, the carbon footprint section, the equitable hiring commitments. Rylan nods like I'm asking if water is wet. Yeah. They didn't care, he says. They just wanted to know if we can improve their SEO and conversion rate. My temple starts pulsing hot, steady throb. That's the soul of this company, Rylan. He doesn't flinch. The soul wasn't selling, he says. Then he points behind him. Whiteboard they drew a giant thermometer chart, shaded up to the halfway mark. That's the monthly target, he says. We're already over 50%. It's day 9, I whisper to myself. As I walk past their whiteboard thermometer, Rylan catches me looking and grins. Yup, he says, like he's proud of himself. We're gonna crush it. I keep walking, feel a little lightheaded. Like I stood up too fast, they're gutting my brand, ripping out the story I spent years crafting. And somehow, it's working. No, it's temporary, they'll sign Marlowe, screw up a kickoff by not doing pronoun round, get labeled unsafe, and we'll get dumped, just gotta wait for the backlash. Day 17, the office has split into 2 separate planets. Planet Venus. Creative side, slow, emotionally saturated, permanently processing. Nora is holding an emergency meeting because someone used the wrong milk in the communal fridge, not wrong like expired wrong. Like oat versus almond productivity is at an all-time low because everyone's distracted by the bad energy radiating from sales. Planet Mars, sales corner, a machine. I watch them from my office like it's a lab experiment. I regret starting. It's equal parts fascinating and disgusting. They've developed their own little language, shorthand grunts hand signals, no long meetings if they need to communicate. Someone stands up, fires off 3 sentences, sits back down, total time, maybe 40 seconds. Meanwhile, my side needs a 20-minute meeting to schedule the meeting. I check the bank account, cash flow is positive like, aggressively positive it looks fake. Grant emails me, whatever you changed, do more of it. I delete it immediately, like it's a virus. If I acknowledge it, it becomes real. So I decide to help the universe along, subtle sabotage, nothing obvious. I draft a company-wide memo, IT update, mandatory security patches today from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., network downtime, expected. I hit send and actually smile. Let's see how the free-range men handle being slowed down. 1 p.m. Hits network drops. I wait for complaints. I wait for someone to storm up and say they can't work. I wait for Ryland to demand an exception. Nothing. I step out onto the floor. Sales desks are empty. Every chair pushed in. Headsets gone. My stomach flips. Did they quit? Did they walk out together like some kind of mutiny? I check the parking lot through the window. Cars are still there. Okay? Then I hear noise like shouting from the loading dock area. I walk back there, heart pounding for totally different reasons. Now they're all outside in the parking lot. Ryland's holding a football. They're playing touch football, laughing, sweating, running around like middle schoolers who found an empty field. It's disgusting raw, unfiltered masculinity, shoving each other, yelling, celebrating like cavemen. One of the younger guys, Cody, the new kid, drops a pass. I brace for the bullying, for the dog pile, for the cruel locker room moment. Instead, Ryland jogs over, pats him on the back. Next one, man. Shake it off. Cody grins like he just got promoted. They look happy. Like, actually happy. Nora steps up behind me. She's watching with this curled lip expression. Look at them, she says, like she's describing bugs. So primitive. It's literally Lord of the Flies. Yeah, I mutter. Except nobody's holding the conch. Nobody's crying. Nobody's getting exiled. They're just... Playing Nora's voice goes sharper. They're wasting company time. The network is down, Nora. We did that, she huffs. They should be using this time to reflect on privilege. Or at least clean their desks. I look at her, really look, and for the first time the thought hits me. She sounds like a nag. I immediately shove the thought away. Nora is my ally. Ryland is the problem. 3 o'clock p.m. Network comes back up. The sales guys jog inside, sweaty, energized, smiling like they just took a hit of something illegal. They sit down and immediately start dialing, like the downtime never happened, except now the energy is higher than before. I go back to my office, sit down, put my head in my hands. They just turned my sabotage into a team-building event, and it didn't cost me $4,000 in facilitator fees. Day 25, I'm losing control of the narrative, not because the board is mad, because my own creative team is revolting, not against me, technically against the inequity. A little delegation shows up at my door. Nora, our lead designer, Sasha, and Kira from social media. They stand there like union reps. Sasha starts, Marin, we have a list of demands. I actually blink, demands? Yes, she says, dead serious. Kira jumps in. The sales team leaves at 5 p.m. every day. I nod. I'm aware. Sasha crosses her arms. We're staying until 7 p.m. because of mandatory decompression circles and end-of-day alignment meetings. I do my automatic response. Those are important for our mental health. Sasha doesn't even flinch. It's not fair. They're making more money than us. They work fewer hours. They don't have to do the emotional labor. I try to keep my voice calm. They're part of an experiment. Sasha's eyes narrow. A dangerous experiment. Kira nods fast. Well, we want in. We want the autonomy protocol too. I just stare at them like I'm watching my own religion collapse. You want me to cancel culture meetings? You guys love culture meetings. You told me they're the only thing keeping you sane. Sasha's voice softens, and that somehow makes it worse. We're tired, Marin. I just want to do my job and go home. It hits me like a slap my own people, my disciples turning on the temple. No, I say, sharper than I mean to. A Sales is the control group. You are the standard. We are not losing our soul because they're on a lucky streak. They leave, clearly pissed door shuts. I feel this weird isolation settle in like I'm the only one left guarding the altar. I pull up the numbers. Again, sales are up 58%, month over month. Client retention is still 100%. And here's the part that makes my skin crawl. We haven't had a single HR complaint from sales in 25 days. Normally we get like 4 a week petty stuff. He looked at my screen. He sighed too loud. He said guys in a group chat. Nothing. So, I call Rylan in. I need to find the crack the rot. Something he sits down across from me, and it's insane. He looks like he got de-aged like 8 years. Fell off his face, posture is better. Eyes clear. Rylan, I say, be honest with me. He leans back, relaxed. Shoot. I point at my monitor like it's evidence in court. What are you hiding? He blinks. Hiding? These numbers, I say. This morale. It's performative. You're covering up problems. Are you guys fighting in a group chat? Are you suppressing trauma? He just starts laughing like actual belly laughter, not polite chuckling. Marianne, he goes, wiping his face. Come on. We're simple creatures. Don't generalize, I snap immediately. He holds up his hands. No, I mean us, the team. You gave us one clear goal. You removed the obstacles. You let us talk to each other like dudes, not like HR robots. I narrow my eyes. And how do dudes talk, Rylan? How do dudes talk, I ask, bracing to get smacked with something gross. Rylan doesn't even hesitate. If Ty screws up, he says, I tell him, Ty, that was garbage. Fix it. He goes, okay, and then he fixes it. He shrugs like, this is the most normal thing in the world. We don't need a 30-minute processing circle to unpack his inner child. I sit back, disgust rising. That's abusive. Rylan shakes his head. No. That's respect. I respect him enough to tell him the truth. He respects me enough to hear it. No grudges. No vibes. We just work. He leans forward, elbows on my desk, and his voice drops like he's saying something confidential. Marin, the guys would run through a brick wall for this company right now. My stomach twists. Because for the first time, you're letting them be good at what they do. I narrow my eyes. And what is that? He smiles like he knows the answer is going to piss me off. Winning. I dismiss him before I say something that ends up on TikTok. He stands, nods, walks out like he owns the building. I hate him. I hate him because he's coherent. I hate him because my expensive degree and my 10,000 pages of theory say he's wrong, but my bank account is screaming that he's right. Day 29, night before the reckoning, I'm building the board deck alone in my office, and it's a disaster. Not the numbers. The numbers are insane. Solari just posted the best month we've ever had, highest profit in company history. We can pay down debt. We can actually expand, hire more people, upgrade equipment, all the stuff Grant's been nagging about. But the narrative? The narrative is wrecking me. I have to explain why letting the sales corner act like a locker room made us money. I try to spin it. I write slide titles like Strategic Disengagement, A New Leadership Framework, The Autonomy Paradox, How Guided Support, Enable Independent Excellence. It reads like nonsense because it is nonsense and I know it. I stare at the screen until my eyes feel dry. Then I open a bottle of overpriced organic wine I keep for stressful moments, and I drink it at my desk like a raccoon in a dumpster. I glance out at the sales floor. It's 6:10 p.m. Empty, their lights are off. They're home at bars playing video games, hugging their kids, whatever. Meanwhile, the creative side is still here, stuck in a spiraling crisis. Of purpose meeting, Nora called, faces tired, voices soft, miserable. The sales guys are happy, and I've somehow built a utopia, but only for the people I can't stand, and the people I love are trapped in hell. And then the thought hits me like nausea. I'm the toxic one. I'm the micromanager. I'm the thing I've been warning everyone about. I grab the empty wine bottle and slam it into the recycling bin way harder than necessary. Glass clinks like a gavel. Day 30 board, meeting 9:15 a.m. I walk into the conference room with my laptop and my fake confident posture. Grant is there in person, which is already bad news. He brought 2 other partners with him. They smell like expensive cologne and money. Like their jackets have never seen a bus seat. I hook up my laptop. Projector comes on my hands are slightly shaky. As you can see, I start. The pilot program was a qualified success. Qualified, Grant cuts in instantly. He points at my slide like it insulted him. Revenue up 85%. Churn at 0. New client acquisition up 37%. That's not qualified, Marin. That's a miracle. I swallow. Yes, well, I stammer. It came with costs. Grant's eyebrows lift. Costs? Cultural erosion, I say, clinging to the only weapon I have left. The team is fractured. Creative feels marginalized. Grant glances at a folder in front of him. Creative, he says, generated $14,000 this month. He looks back up. Sales generated $420,000. Silence the kind that makes your ears ring. Then Grant says my name like he's disappointed in a pet Marin. He folds his hands. We've been speaking with Rylan. My blood goes cold, like I just swallowed ice water. You went behind my back, I say, voice sharp. Grant doesn't even blink. It's our company. Rylan says the autonomy protocol is the only reason he didn't resign 3 weeks ago. He flips a page. He also says the rest of your staff is drowning in meetings. Grant leans forward. So we're making a decision. My chest tightens. We're extending the protocol. I whisper. To who? Grant smiles without warmth. Everyone? Effective immediately. All culture meetings are optional. All DEI workshops are paused pending an ROI review. All non-essential HR functions are being consolidated. I actually gasp. Nora Grant nods like he's confirming a shipping address. Gone. We terminated her this morning. My voice spikes. You can't... Grant keeps going. Calm and ruthless. She was costing us $110,000 a year to slow people down. My hands clench into fists under the table. She's the heart of this place, I blurt. Grant tilts his head. She was the plaque, he corrects. And we're clearing the artery. He looks straight at me, eyes cold, bright, hard, and I feel it coming. The guillotine, I force the words out. And me? I assume I'm fired. I'm already picturing the martyr arc the viral thread. The book deal, the applause from strangers online. Grant shakes his head. No, that would be too easy. He taps the table. You own too much equity. We can't remove you without a lawsuit. So we're changing your role. I feel sick. You are no longer CEO. My throat goes tight. We're bringing in a new CEO. A guy from Titan Harbor Media. It hits like a punch to the stomach. That frat house competitor. The one I've been ranting about? My vision blurs for a second. Then what am I? I croak. Grant's mouth twitches, almost amused. Chief Visionary Officer. Non-executive. No direct reports. No budget. No veto power. You get an office in the back. You can write your manifestos. You can blog. But you do not speak to staff. You do not schedule meetings. You do not touch operations. He lets that sit, then adds the final insult. You're a mascot. Take it, he says, or we trigger the cause clause for gross mismanagement. Then you walk with nothing. I'm standing there trembling, stripped of authority, stripped of the crusade. I built my identity around my mouth, opens, nothing comes out. Finally, I whisper, fine. I leave the conference room, and to get to my new office, I have to walk past the sales floor. It's alive. Bells ringing, voices, sharp energy buzzing. Rylan's on a call, pacing like he owns the air. He sees me and pauses. He knows everyone knows Nora's already gone. Her desk is cleared, like she never existed. The creative lounge is weirdly quiet, and the worst part is, people are actually working, because without Nora summoning meetings, they have nothing else to do. Rylan gives me a nod. It's not mocking, it's almost pity. Like he's watching someone who tried to fix a machine by smashing it with a hammer. I walk into my new office. It's basically a storage room, with a sad little window, smells like dust and cardboard. I sit down, open my laptop, no emails, no Slack pings, no calendar invites, nothing. I've been erased inside my own company. Then I hear a cheer from the sales floor. Another deal closed, another number, jumps, and it finally clicks in the quiet. The patriarchy didn't beat me. Competence did, reality did.